This is Veronique Von Benham, horror hostess hottie. Oh God, what now? Nothing. It's this recurring theme. Anyway, it's episode 9, and I have a special guest, a fellow scream queen, Jessica Cameron.
Thank you.
Sorry, there's no applause. I was taken off public access, so it's kind of low in here.
Okay, we'll make our own.
Thank you. Yay. Anyway, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
So you've been in a ton of horror films. Did you gravitate toward horror, or just you want to do something else, but you just love horror? Is it an accident, or is it on purpose?
It was actually an accident, but it's my favorite genre to watch. So it was a happy accident. I was living in the Midwest at the time, and everything they shoot in the Midwest is 95% horror. So it just turned out that like most of the auditions I was going out on and getting cast for were horror films.
Huh. I did not know that. I actually learned something today. Yeah, I did not know the Midwest was hard on horror.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Extremely hard on horror.
Weird. All right, what's your favorite role?
My favorite role would have been Lenore in this film called Resurrection that'll probably never come out. Damn it. Damn independent films. But it was a lot of fun. It was basically, the town is overtaken by this poisonous gas, and some people turn and some people don't. And there was like explosions and chases, and I survived.
It's about a killer fart.
No.
Gas that leaks.
It's a killer gas that turns people into a zombie-like creature.
That happens. There was a whole,
It could.
yeah, I mean, zombies are hot right now. What's the craziest thing you've ever had to do for a role?
Oh goodness, pretty much, I've been approached to do some really crazy things that I wouldn't do. Like I was actually expected to jump off of a 40-foot cliff, so I said no to that. But I've been thrown into a really deep hole, and there was like lots of rocks and things, and I actually something snapped in my body, and I was supposed to be dying, and whenever it snapped, everybody else thought I had hurt something, and I couldn't see them, so they could see me, but I couldn't see them how it was, and I was supposed to be dead, so it's not like I was looking for the crew, so they all were like freaking out and panicking, and it wasn't until they were like, okay, call the cops, that I said anything, but I was like, I didn't want to say anything because they hadn't called cut, so, and they were like, oh my god, we knew it was dangerous to throw you in this giant hole.
They knew it was dangerous, so they did not hire a stunt double.
Of course not. Independent film. And then I've also shot a live weapon with a weapons tech, but on set, so that's kind of creepy.
Why was it live? Then these blanks, no?
You know what? They didn't want to. I forget the reasoning behind it. It was like a directorial choice, and they had a weapons tech to like safety the area. But somebody like me who I don't have that much experience with live firearms, it just doesn't feel like a good idea to give me a loaded gun.
No.
In the dark, in the woods.
Well, that sounds pretty horrible. I think that's how horror movies start. You give someone a loaded weapon and the gun in the dark, and we'll see what happens.
I know, something accidental happens.
So who are some of the favorite people you've worked with?
I am so lucky. I've worked with Lloyd Kaufman of Trauma, who I love. You probably know of him or worked with him. He's fantastic, and he's so much fun and completely crazy. I worked with Tony Randall from Hellraiser 2, so he's super fun. We did an episode of Monster Man for Sci-Fi, and it was super crazy and hectic and everything that a reality show, making a movie in a reality show would be. So that was great. And then I did the Black Dahlia Haunting recently, which was super fun with Brandon Schlegel and Devaney Penn.
So, sounds pretty good. So, do you have any advice for young actresses? Maybe specifically a blonde scream queen with big boobs to survive a horror film? Is there a secret to surviving? Have you survived many? Have you survived any?
I have survived.
How many? What's your...
I don't know an actual number, but I've probably about 50-50. It really right now is, depending upon like scheduling, is typically what kills me off. Not necessarily it's in the script. They're usually like, when are you available? What are your rates? Oh shit, we have to kill you off then. Or, oh, we can afford you for the whole duration. You get to live. But yeah, I've survived probably about half of them.
That's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah.
Any advice? Like, what's the secret? Is there a secret to surviving?
Just,
just being busy? Maybe I should just lie about my schedule, about how much I'm worth. Would that help me survive?
Well, I think you're more likely to survive when you can actually do the whole shoot. So if they come to you and say, hey, look, we need you for 3 weeks. Obviously, if you can do that 3 weeks, that's step number one. But I think just having the kind of brand and personality that they want to see survive. You know, being that fighter. You know, there's a reason why Jamie Lee Curtis survived in the original Halloween series.
Because her parents were famous? Probably.
Well, perhaps partially, but also I think because the audience was on her side. You know, they wanted to see more of her. They wanted to root for her. So I think if the audience is going to root for you, then I think you more likely are going to survive. Obviously, there's all like the stereotypes, you know, don't have sex. Don't be the slut. Don't be a stereotype. Don't do anything questionable. Don't get naked. You know, all of those like red flags that if you do them, you're more likely to die.
I do like to get naked. But who doesn't?
Well, this is true.
I don't go to the gym for nothing.
This is true.
Anyway.
Well, maybe it's just working with different filmmakers then. We'll go against the grain.
I don't know. I'm trying. Well, we do like to make lists here on, and I would like to ask you what your top 5 horror movies of all time are.
Top 5?
Of all time.
Okay. Definitely Martyrs. Love Martyrs. I hope they don't remake it, and if they do, and they use Kristen Stewart, I'm gonna never see it.
Oh, yeah, anything with her in it, right?
I know, horrible. Want to talk about somebody who should die?
I know, right?
And she can keep her clothing on. We don't need to see that. So, the original Saw. Not necessarily the sequels as much. I love the original. I thought it had so much merit, and I thought it was revolutionary, and I thought they did a wonderful job. And I'm partial to torture porn.
That's pretty much what it was.
Yes.
Or amputee porn. It was a mixture.
Well, 6 of one, half dozen of another. The Shining. Epic. Jack Nicholson. Amazing. I don't think you can ever go wrong with that. Creepy children. Creepy children writing on walls. Awesome.
And what were those guys doing in the dog costume? I looked it up. I can't find out. That was weird, right? They just walked in and they look at them like guilty. You're like, oh, that was creepier than any ghost or a Hall of Blood, personally.
But I think like everything that's unsettling, that whole movie is just very to like the core. And I think to be like one of the original horror films that's still so effective today, which I have to mention, you know, Halloween, the original, not the Rob Zombie version. The original for sure is definitely in my top 5. It's fantastic. And then Natural Born Killers, which I know a lot of people don't consider a horror film. I do. It's got a body count. You've got a serial killer. You've got a team of serial killers, you know, running the show. And it's kind of like the first found footage film when you think about it.
Sorry, this happens all the time. Oh, my boyfriend Zeus thinks we should break up because I'm lame. This is kind of awkward. Sorry about that. That's kind of what he does. I think we're gonna end the episode, so I'm just gonna hold it together long enough to leave and cry. There's a martini with my name on it somewhere. Love of Jesus. I don't appreciate him. You cheated on me with my... Anyway, I would like to thank you, Jessica Cameron, for coming in and sharing your wisdom and words and all that stuff. It's really awesome. And I'm going to say goodbye now because I really want to look. And thank you for coming to episode 9. Thanks.